Hello, hello. So I left my 2020 Triumph Street Twin out for the winter in Colorado Springs, and October to March tried starting it, didn't work. Uh, I think both fuel went bad and battery was kind of low. Recharged the battery, didn't fix the problem, so fuel was an issue. I took the tank out off the bike and what you have to do to get rid of all the fuel is um, turn on the fuel pump relay or fuel pump, which is inside the gas can, the gas tank, which is pretty cool. Maybe that's obvious to some, but it wasn't to me. I found that out. So I just took my battery. I applied 12 volts to the fuel pump and just rotated the fuel pump around as it was on. I just took two little wires and connected the batteries, negative and positive, to the purple and black leads connectors. There's two connectors. One has a connector with three wires to it. The other one has a connector with two. A purple and a black was mine. And then the other one was green, pink, and orange. When I was talking to ChatGPT, it thought that the wired one was the one I needed to power. Well, that wasn't true. It was actually the two wired one, the two wired connector, the purple and the black. Black's ground, purple is hot. So I did that, switched it around as it was on. It was coming out. Finally, the last little bit came out. It was pretty empty, not fully empty. And I was thinking about trying to empty the injectors or the fuel rail, and there's like outer rubbery outside that I tried to lift up and get to the clips, but I couldn't like do it real easily. I feel like I'd almost have to like cut the plastic or whatever. So, or like the plastic thing, like fitting thing, or the rubbery fitting over it. I thought I'd have to cut it to like get to see it better, to see where I need to pinch and stuff to take the injectors out. So I was like, let's just like this. I don't want to damage it necessarily. And it was like, let me just see if this works. So I ended up putting the fuel tank back on with 91 octane fuel. And after turning the bike, I tried starting it. It didn't work. I tried starting it a couple times, and then finally it worked. I think the fuel pump finally pushed through the 91 octane fuel, and then it started up. Big old black smoke came out of the exhaust, and then it ran. I left it running for about 20 minutes or so. I was like kind of cleaning up stuff and everything, and once I finally got my helmet and my vest jacket on, because it's been a bit, I was like, I made sure I had the safety equipment before I ride, because it's been since October. So and I rode it around, and I rode like 20-30 minutes on like highways. Basically, I rode to the airport and back in Colorado Springs. Beautiful riding by the airport, by the way. So taking the seat cover off and the battery and taking the battery out wasn't anything crazy. Just ask ChatGPT, and kind of the same for the fuel tank. But you just take the bolt out that's at the near the where the seat touches the fuel tank. You take that bolt out. It's like a 8mm to 10mm, something like that, and then you can lift up the tank. I kind of lifted up the tank and like flipped it kind of on its side toward me. I kind of held the tank a little bit as I took a flat tip screwdriver and like stuck it in the connector. And you have to do like, it is a weird, like you stick it in the one spot. You see a little like levery thing on the connector. So you kind of stick a flat tip in there, press down on it. And then with your use that with your left hand. Then with your right hand, you kind of, there's like two pincher things. You pinch, and then you like lift up the connector and pull it out. It's something like that. It's not too hard, but just try to look at it and make sense of it when you're doing it. And obviously, like, try to be gentle with the wires and connectors, because if you bust one, it's like Well, gotta fix that now. That kind of sucks. So you unconnect two connectors, and when you have the tank separate from the motorcycle at that point, I just took it over some grass, and I had my motorcycle's battery, and I just connected two long wires from the battery to the fuel pumps, which is the connector that has two wires to it, not the connector that has three wires to it. The other one is like, I think the other one is for like uh, communications between the computer and the fuel pump. Like, okay, turn it on under these conditions, type of a thing. The other one is just straight power. So yeah, I'm not sure. That's as much as I understand it. But I got to get all the fuel out by doing that. So, and then running the bike afterwards. So, but yeah, and I also, before I took the fuel tank off, I actually tried siphoning all the fuel out with a little plastic tube. But because of this tank's reservoir isn't just one big reservoir, it's got like passageways and so it's fuel injected, so it's like, I think that it's got some different reservoirs in there. And maybe it's just, it's been a bit since I thought about this, but maybe it's just like maybe a regular motorcycle. It's like, isn't it true that you have your main fuel tank, but then you have a reserve that just in case you can flip the nozzle? Because that was like my first motorcycle was like that. Yamaha V-Star Classic 2010, I think. But I don't know how to do that for my 2020 Triumph Street Twin. Maybe that's a thing too. But anyways, maybe it's just as simple as there's like a separate second backup reservoir and a main reservoir. But I'm kind of thinking it really is like there's weird passageways in it, because I was flipping it upside down and trying to get gravity to dump all the fuel out of it, and it was swishing around there and it wasn't getting out. So I was like kind of weirded out by that. But anyways, and additionally, this isn't that big of a deal, it'll be obvious, but there's an air tube that supplies like air to the gas tank, so it does the fuel injection better, I think. So you just unplug that too. That's not that hard. It was just little clips holding the fuel line or the air rubber hose in place. So you just unplug the rubber hose from the nozzle and then unclip it twice, and then it's off the tank at that point. So I didn't make any video of doing any of this, sorry, but at least I'm talking about it. So good luck. Bye.